Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. This is going to be a very short video. I just want to show you how we can have like a colorizing of a black and white video using the object called jit.gradient.ui. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you are not really familiar with this object. In fact, it's kind of a new object. It's part of the Jitter tools package, so it comes built in with Max. And it creates a one-dimensional matrix with a gradient inside. So we can choose different points for our gradient, we can choose different colors, and all the good stuff. So, in this video, I'm going to show you how we can colorize a black and white video or images using this object. Let's get into it. Alright, so let's start. Let's create a JIT world, floating one, and size 320 to 40 enabled by default. Race color 00001. Forgot a space, that's why it was not working. Cool, let's create a JIT FPS GUI just to monitor our frame rate. There we go. Let's create this object, which is called jit.gradient.ui. Cool. This is just a wrapper around the JSUI file. So if we say open original, we can see that it's actually just a JSUI file object. And we can also see that it has like a path object attached to it, which means we can actually save the status of the gradient UI using a path storage. So let's create a path storage. Let's call it path3, and then let's create also an auto path object, which will basically, I guess, map all the path UI in the scene and in the sub patches as well. And then let's create a preset object and let's give it the path storage path3. Cool. So now if we modify this gradient and we save that, and then we modify it again, yeah, exactly, the status of the thing has been saved. Okay, awesome. And then I guess when we will close the patch, we will have to save the JSON for the path storage, I think. Unless there is a way to save it with the patch, which I don't remember. Probably there is for sure. Anyway, let's create our JIT movie object, output texture 1 and volume 0. And let's drop inside the black and white movie. I just downloaded this one from Pexel, my favorite website to download free copyright videos. I would actually like to mention the author of this video, which is called Dan Christian Paduret, and I downloaded the video from his Pexel account. Cool. And as you can see, it's very black and whitish. I don't know exactly what this is. Some sort of weird filament stuff. It's pretty cool. So let's create now jit.gl.pix. And let's input this inside jit.gl.pix. And let's send the jit.gl.pix to JIT world. So what the JIT gradient UI does exactly is to create a matrix. So it will create a one-dimensional matrix every time we kind of modify it or we send a bang to it. We create a matrix that has a certain amount of cells. Let's actually check it with the FPS GUI again to see what are the dimensions. It's 20 by 1. So it's a one-dimensional matrix which contains this gradient. We can actually choose what are the dimensions of this matrix. So if we go in the help file, you will see that here is used to like color a bunch of parallelepipeds, a bunch of cubes. And yeah, we can get basically the output matrix dimension. So these are the dimensions of the output matrix. If I make this bigger, the matrix is going to get much smoother. And we can also set that the alpha is being applied as the last channel in the output matrix in case we want to use it with like GL objects. In this case, it's going to be, okay, we don't need to do that because GL.pix will automatically convert it to the correct RGBA format. So I'm just going to copy this message, close that, paste this here. Output matrix, I'm going to set it to something like 256. This, I think, is going to be big enough to give us enough resolution. And I'm actually also going to load mask that. And then I'm going to choose some new colors. So if I click here on the color thing, it's going to change the color for that pointer, let's call it. And then I can create as many of them as I want. We create another one, maybe a bit more red. something like that. Maybe another one, which I will make like purplish, looks good. And then I'm going to output this matrix inside jit.gl.pix. And as you can see, by default, it's just summing them together. So what I'm going to do now inside the jit.gl.pix is I'm going to use the nearest object. So I'm going to use the colors of the video. So actually the luminance of the video. I'm just going to get, let's actually do like this. Let's actually say RGB to HSL. And then with X for the luminance. This should be actually it. So let's see what we get if we do that. Sorry, I meant to say we want to switch to zeta. Exactly, that's the luminance. I believe this is correct. So we can then use that as the sample value for the X component of our sampling index inside our matrix, and then we will get the colorized video as an output. Very cool. So let's give it a try here. If we move a bit around our pointers here, you can see that the more I move these on the other side, the more the blue is going to get sampled by brighter values of the video. And let's maybe add some more. It's extremely psychedelic. I would just try now with a black and white image, like a still image. And this is like the image of a street. And it looks real good. So this was it. I just wanted to show you basically this object, the jit.gradient.ui, because I think it's not really being used much since it's been output from cycling. And it's actually a pretty useful object. So let's give it a go. Now, as said, I will save this here. And now if I close the patch, it will ask me to save the JSON file. I will just save it. And then if I reopen the patch and I click here on the preset, you can see that it recalled the preset as it was. So it seems to be working correctly. Whew. All right. So thanks a lot for following. You can download this patch from my Patreon. I will see you in the next video. Have fun. Ciao, ciao.